So we got the movie Past Lives is an adult, dramatic, personal narrative romantic movie about two childhood friends at the age of 12, Nora and Hae. Those are Korean names, so I apologize for my mis-talking and pronunciation of them. Feel like lovers, but as soon as one of them migrates to the United States at the age of 12, the other one stays, and then 24 years later, they meet to confront their past, present, and future, and overall to see if they're meant to be, confronting destiny / fate. This is a perfect movie if you also like 6 Years, Blue Valentine, and Like Crazy, because I did see similar themes and tones and the characters of what they're going through in their situations, such as this film. The director also had something personal happening to her life. I think one of the interviews she did that she said she was talking to a husband and a childhood sweetheart, so that is what prompted her to deliver the script, which this movie is beautifully shot, especially in New York and Korean. You see both of them equal amounts of time, but basically ask yourself this: what if your childhood lover came back into your life years later when you're an established adult? Were you married? Do you still have feelings? Should you come back to them? Is this meant to be? This movie explores that and its deeper meaning. I apologize to my younger audience. 3 things: I appreciate you, I love you, and I thank you, but I don't think this movie is geared towards you. As a matter of fact, as much as I do movie reviews here on this channel, and there's some of you younger audience out there, just be warned, I think this is more a mature, older audience. Of course, there's nothing wrong with you watching this movie, but I'm just saying there was a lot of people in the theater that were probably older than me, so I'm just letting you know that this is more adult mature. It's a very slow-paced movie, not in terms of a bad way, but there's no action, there's no crazy set pieces. I mean, it's literally a character, personal, dramatic, romantic movie. So if that's not your fancy, then please, I'm just letting you know, I'm just being honest, because these characters go through real life. Like, it's heartache, it's heartful moments, it's sadness, it's happiness, and it's just like romantic stuff, but in terms of like, oh my gosh, like it does hurt watching this movie at some point. So I'm just letting you know. And disclaimer, sort of, so we're talking about, of course, another romance movie this weekend, and I do gotta be very honest with you. I used to go to school to become a relationship therapist, so I used to go to school to get my psychology degree, but I quit because YouTube is my true calling, my true passion. I do like girls. If I see an attractive girl making eye contact, I will go up to them and I talk to them. The reason why I say this to you is because I am a glass half full. I want romance to succeed. I want love to succeed because I like romance. Like, you go to school, I used to go to school to romance because I know a lot of guys, especially on YouTube and on the internet, get stigmatized or just get called on because, oh, guys shouldn't be liking romance, they shouldn't be asking like they want romance. No, that's BS. Like, I love doing naughty things with girls. I like talking to girls. I like holding hands. I like everything, the 9 yards. The reason why I say this is because I want you to know that I am trying to put a positive spin into romantic things. Like, I want romance to succeed, but yes, of course, I'm going to be critical about this review, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from. Like, you're in good hands. I'm your man. It's like, this is not just me bashing off. What starts off as a simple Google search for fun. She's already in the United States. She's in New York. She's just Googling her people, talking to her mom. She comes across this guy that she met in childhood as the age of 12, and she searches him up on Facebook. Hey, like, it's been a long time. What are they doing? What are you doing? And of course, she had a big crush on him, and the movie does explore that because it does show you scenes of it. But then it picks up literally 12 years after she left New York. So they're talking on FaceTime, they're talking on Zooms, and these are multiple times. They go through their day-to-day on Zoom. They haven't met since like 12 years ago, but the movie goes from 12 years to when they're 24 and I think about to 36. So it does have different age groups in terms of who they are and what they think and what they feel, because you do see them at different stages in their life. But it does get dicey when she does kind of settle down with a guy in her town named Arthur, who is in a similar like pattern of life, writing. There's another intimate like lover that is kind of interesting. I mean, literally, yeah, I get it, childhood friend, but he's in Korean. The guy's literally like 5 blocks away. Like, of course you're gonna be attracted to someone else. Like, you know, you're always attracted to different people. So the movie does explore that. But before we go any further, the movie really talks about this word in Korean called inyoung, which is providence for faith and love, I feel like. So the Google description means is this. We're gonna read it. It says it translates closest to destiny or faith. In the movie that I saw, she does talk about inyoung a lot, and you're gonna see that a lot. And what it means is basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, she says something: if two strangers walk around the street or walk across the street and their clothes brush up each other, it's like 8,000 years of inyoung. I took it in the terms of, oh wow, in their past lives they could be best friends, enemies, anything in between. So I thought it was a really cool concept that inyoung provided, especially in Korean, because the people are mostly Korean and they talk in Korean, but you do see subtitles, so that is pretty cool. And you also get to see Korean culture, which is amazing, because for me, I love Japanese and I love Philippines, but it's nice to see other cultures represented, especially in romantic dramatic narratives. The movie really focuses on their day-to-day life, doing what they're saying, what they're feeling, the time of difference between the two continents that they're talking in, Korean, United States. It's literally giving us backstory of who they are, what they want, and especially when we feel their emotions that they're going through. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes like, hey, you gotta move on, you got a heartbreak. Great work from phenomenal actors, and I did see why they put this in theaters, and it's amazing that we did see this in theaters, because even though it's slower pace, I did feel everything in a calmly manner. Like, you do understand, and it's amazing because you see what they're zooming, what they're talking, what they're texting, what they're thinking. They're going about to day-to-day life, doing their own personal lives, but as well as talking to the significant others that interests in their lives as well. But yeah, the movie, most of the movie is geared towards Nora. I feel like this is her story, but still the director said that she had the same thing. She moves out of the United States, she's in Korean, but you do see this, and this is why I'm saying to my younger audience, it's more of a slower pace. Like, you're gonna have to really, like, I don't want to say like keep up with the movie, because it does tell you everything from exposition to dialogue to even backstory, showing us what these characters came from, what do they look like, what do they want, but it does give it to us in a nice pace. So it does answer everything that you're probably, when you're watching, you're like, oh my gosh, like, did they have something in common? Why does this girl like this and for like this other thing? But it's at the same time too, like, literally, if I started zooming with a girl, with a Japanese girl, which is like my dream girl, I would actually have some feelings about it if I did it every day consecutively for weeks, days, and maybe months on end, but then to stop. But still, like, of course she's in Japanese, so I'm never gonna have that like real feelings until they meet up. In the movie, of course, if you've seen in the trailers, they do meet up, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you can't, it's harder, it's easier to fall in love with someone you see in person, because you get to touch them, you get to see them, you get to interact with them. So falling in love with online versus in person, there is a big difference, and the movie really tackles that. And at the end of the day, it's relatable to anyone that's been in committed relationships, marriages. You can't control who you fall for, and that's the one of the things I learned when I was going in school. Like, you can't really fall, like, it takes 3 seconds to see if you're attracted to someone. I know you're probably not gonna believe me, but they were talking about that all throughout campus, or especially like the ones that I went to. If your old lover comes back and you're married to someone, it is gonna spark some feelings. Like, I get it, you're married and you're amazing, oh my god, but if this is something that you like didn't end on a bad term, let's say they didn't cheat or didn't lie, it just because of distance, literally, that, I mean, literally your feelings could come back. And the movie really explores this in adult and mature tones, and you get to see the absolutely amazing, incredible acting between all 3 of the characters, especially when they all confront for the climax. You get to see and feel the love, the jealousy, the hate, the curiosity of each of them. It's not them fighting for the girl, it's just that they love her so much to the point where she kind of has to choose. So basically, it's like The Notebook, but at the end of the day, it is a mature tone dealing with all this. And I loved how the movie prepared us for that. Even for me, for a younger viewer, it's like, still going into my life, going into my 30s, I'm still gonna be like, wow, like, there is gonna be some more heartache that I'm gonna have to endure for romance and for life and dramatic. Like, what if someone else comes back? And I don't want to make names. Like, I'm gonna have to make a critical decision that's not gonna affect just my life, but 2 other people's lives around me. You don't see this movie in cinemas anymore. You absolutely don't, and I'm glad they put it on, because this is what we need sometimes. Like, we need some like slower paced movies, not, oh my god, fashion, flash, and, you know, crazy bombastic action. Sometimes we need more mature adult theme. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give this a solid B. I had a great time with this movie. Of course, you know my background. A lot of people are giving it A's, and I can see that, but to me, I'm giving it a B because that's just what it resonated to me. But it is a good movie to check out in theaters. If not, I'm glad that they didn't just put this out for streaming, because now I get to cover it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Maybe consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that, take care, bye.